Who else do you love? Coach Cal?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I love Coach Cal too.
There's a lot of love going across the Commonwealth. Welcome to the Red and Blue Review. Even Howie's got some love toward the... Do you? Love toward the national... Okay. Everybody but Howie has some love toward the national champions. Welcome to the Red and Blue Review. We're going to be talking football and a whole lot of basketball in this broadcast. Say hello to Darryl Bird of the Cat's Paws.
It was a whole lot of love. And I don't have any loss of love for Louisville. I mean, they had their little Final Four celebration. Save those party favors. Maybe we'll get to have a real celebration one day.
Oh, that man is cold. Howie Lindsay of the Louisville Sports Report is here. Howie?
Very good. We go from basketball season to, is there anything else at Kentucky?
No, just
It's
basketball
football
season
this weekend, right? No?
Well, not in Lexington. They are going to have a game. I don't know how much interest there will be in it, but that will be one of the many things we discuss today, and we're going to start with the lightning round. Lightning Round is brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. One text or call could wreck it all, so do your dialing before you do your driving. Topic number one on the Red and Blue Review, who is hot, is team unity. Cal says those bunch of cats that are now heading to the NBA are going there with a national championship in their back pocket because this team was unified.
When you look at this team, the interesting thing, they did this together. They wanted it. We didn't suggest it. They all wanted to be together for their announcement. And it shows me that you're talking about these players not only being talented players and good basketball players, but great teammates that will be great teammates at the next level.
Interesting topic. Even Calipari brought it up after this little deal he did on ESPN. He had his assistants try to write something, and he's asking some of the fan base, what made this team different? Because this team is definitely different than any other group he's been around. I think he's right. How those McDonald's All-Americans, just I guess it's their personality. Each is really a very decent human being, and they just got along, and they decided, fine. I mean, Terrence Jones averaged nearly 2 points less, took 100 fewer field goal shots this year than last year. 100 fewer field goal attempts for Terrence Jones, and yet he's walking out a national champion. He's perfectly fine with that.
Hey, you know, Darryl, I think this Kentucky team reminds me a lot of that national championship back-to-back winners that Billy Donovan had down in Florida. It just seems like Cal caught lightning in a bottle with this bunch.
Yeah, and it did. You've always had talent, but now you had the personality to go with it, because it only takes one knothead to really mess things up. And
why are you looking at me and you say knothead?
Because it's a two-man show next week. That's why.
Well, who's hot at the University of Louisville is Teddy Bridgewater. The quarterback in the spring game was absolutely fantastic. The numbers, 19 of 27 for 257 yards. And Teddy says this spring was a whole lot better than last spring.
Well, it's been different compared to last season. You know, last season you come in, I was new to college and I had to learn the system, but being a year into it and just trusting the guys who are in the system with me and just going in and out, day in and day out with those guys is just very different.
You can tell a huge difference in Teddy Bridgewater from last year to this year. Not just that he's more comfortable in the offense, he throws a little easier, he's got a better command of all of his different receivers. The other side is he gained 18 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a huge difference for a guy.
You and I also gained 18?
I gained 18 pounds, but you can't even tell. I mean, this guy went from what 190 or whatever it is to up in the 200s, and it makes a huge difference, and it'll make a huge difference in terms of durability. And he says in terms of his ability to put some zip on the ball.
Howie, how good is he? Louisville's obviously had a run of pretty good quarterbacks. You talk about Brom and Redmond, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How good is he?
That's the question. I mean, that's the crucial question. Right now, he is not what Chris Redmond is. He's not what Brian Brom was. I think he's got the ability to be better than all of them.
Really?
I think his upside is tremendous. Because of his footwork, because of his ability to learn, because of his work ethic, and his athleticism. I mean, he's got enough athleticism that the defensive guys call him Houdini.
Yeah. Well, what's not hot at the University of Kentucky is, once again, Cal is having to reload. He is losing 6 of his top 7 players from the national championship team.
My first year, we had 4 guys drafted last year, and hopefully this year we're going to have 6 guys in the first round. And it's part of this century of basketball. It's just changed. I mean, I'd rather us have kids for 4 years, but it's not the rules the way they are. So in one way, I'm sad that I'm not going to get to coach these two. Anthony wanted to come back and be a point guard, and I told him he could. If he wanted to come back, I'd let him play point. You know, Terrence, thank goodness, came back for his second year and did well, but I wish I had him for 4 years. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for these young people. It is about...
It is a very unique system that Calipari has implemented to keep guys around for 1 year, win that national title, and then start all over. It is staggering to look at next year's roster, completely brand new, still to be determined by some of the recruiting that's going on. But you know, if you're going to enjoy the national title and you're going to savor that and you're going to be the Cat fan that just loves hanging banner number 8, the price is it's going to be a little iffy the following year, and we'll see how they do. You just don't know. There'll be preseason 3 or 4 just based on potential. But potential was there in John Wall's team. They didn't quite get there. A lot of potential this year, and they did get there. Personally, I think Cat fans are completely content we'll ride this roller coaster. We're just fine if we win a national title every other year. Okay.
Daryl, does this kind of pressure on a coach to recruit, does this shorten the lifespan of a coach because you're constantly having to go out and get 6 or 7 players every year? It would seem to me like if I'm a coach, that would be fatiguing.
You would think so, but I'm not so completely on it because the assistants do a lot of that legwork. Cal kind of closes the deal. But at the same time, even if I'm not getting those guys, I'm going after those guys every year. Yeah. And I'm refreshed when I get all of them. You know, that revives me to go into the next year because you know, if he wasn't getting, he's still going to work just as hard to try to get them, so the effort is there regardless.
All right. What's not hot for the University of Louisville was literally the weather at the spring game. Charlie Strong was hoping that 20,000 would show up for the red-white scrimmage, but the weather kind of chased some folks off.
No, really excited about the crowd today, and I know I said 20,000, I think we ended up with 15,000. So you not just told our players, now we're taking the step to get this program headed back in the right direction. Because you see the support that we're getting from the outside, the fan support, and this community wants a winner. So we continue to take the steps we need to take and to continue to improve, then we're going to get this program back to where it needs to be.
And it was a good crowd. I mean, I got to say, even though it was 5,000 short of what Charlie Strong wanted, it was a good crowd. They were loud. They tailgated. And I'm just waiting for the year when Louisville's got a good team coming back, which would have been this year, and the weather's okay. Yeah. Because that's the year that the spring game's going to have a monster attendance. I wish we would have seen that Saturday.
You know, I don't think it's a good idea to really try to hype and try to build up your spring game. In my opinion, that only puts you in a losing position, Howie, because you don't have any control of some of the other things going on in the community. My advice, just go out, put on a good product, enjoy how many people show up, and don't count noses.
You know, it's interesting, though. The coaches count noses regardless. I mean, they've got a listing of the top 12 in the SEC and who had most in it, and it's something that they talk about and they recruit to. So that's the reason that they get into that.
One of the things that Cal did that was brilliant was taking the NCAA championship trophy and touring the Commonwealth with it. And as we looked around the state at every one of the stops, it was all blue and white except for one stop in Elizabethtown where an Indiana Hoosier showed up. His name was Nathan Scammore, who lives in E-Town.
I just had a good season. Just came down to see Coach Cal. Look forward to next year and the rivalry that they have every year.
Are you rubbing it in a little bit? Because Indiana is one of the few teams to beat the national champions.
I'm not rubbing it in. I just believe that there should be no thing as bandwagon. I believe you should follow your team strong. I mean, it's an amazing programming Kentucky's got. Indiana's got an amazing program. There'll be a championship game between them next year.
Yeah, I think that is an interesting one that he showed up. That boy is in for a lot of fun because Indiana is coming up fast, and that rivalry is going to be big time. They can figure out. Personally, I wish they would get it back to neutral court. Half the arena is red, half of it's blue. That was so much fun when they had it that way. And Indiana's going to be really good. And I thought it was kind of interesting to at least come out and want to see Joe Hall and Coach Cal and the trophy just to see, you know, the whole atmosphere that's going on behind it. It was a really cool idea. It really was. You need to do that. Take it to the people.
Yeah, it was a brilliant move, and you got to give this guy credit. If you're an Indiana basketball fan, it's been so long since you've seen a national championship trophy. You better go travel to get one, but that could be changing. The buzz at Louisville is Charlie is staying. You know the big deal. He's an Arkansas native. Bobby Petrino got pumped out of there. Would Charlie go back to his home state to lead the Razorbacks? And Charlie, when he was asked the question, just laughed in his reply.
Where am I going? He trying to run me out here, Chip. Where's he sending me to? Where's he sending me? No, look, look with this program. And I have a coaching staff, and if you look at the continuity of our coaching staff, you know, we have had guys on that staff that had opportunity to leave and did not leave because we have a mission here, and we're going to get this mission accomplished.
It is so refreshing to hear that kind of a statement out of a coach.
Yep.
I mean, just unbelievably refreshing. When you think about, you know, just how he could have answered, you know, I'm happy with my job right now, or I haven't thought about it, or, you know, all those normal responses that we heard from Bobby Petrino way back when, and, you know, it's just he didn't answer it that way. We've got a job to do here at Louisville. I'm keeping my coaching staff together, and we're going to get that job done. And I think the job is a BCS, you know, a BCS bowl, a BCS win. That's what they're going for, and this could be a year.
Yeah, this would be a tough year to walk away from Louisville.
Yes.
Arkansas is loaded, but Louisville is too.
Louisville's going to have a really good season, yeah.
We come back on the Red and Blue Review. Cal does the hard sell in recruiting. We'll tell you when he does the soft sell, as Daryl tells us the hard sell on Celebrate. Great book about the national championship.
Thank you, sir. I was thinking you could probably go back and find some old episodes of this show where I say it's a 120-page book.
Yeah.
Maybe 128. Well, it ended up being 136. It just kept growing and growing. And they are finally out. We've compiling a list. It's just about every store you can think of in the state, the Walmarts, the Kroger, the Walgreens, Books A Million. Any of those type of stores are going to have it very soon if they don't have it already. You can also order online, shopcatspaws.com, magazine.catspaws.com. Either place, we would appreciate it. Celebrate. We follow it from Big Blue Madness all the way through Blue Orleans.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, check out Allstate Ford's pre-owned inventory at allstatetrucks.com. Large selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Also, a nice selection of Ford-certified pre-owned vehicles. Allstate Ford on the Watterson at Poplar Level Road.
Buying your next VW from Bachman Volkswagen will be a great experience. No games or gimmicks, competitive prices, and a huge inventory make #1 Bachman the place to get your Volkswagen. The all-new 2012 Jetta, an IHS top safety pick, is a great vehicle and fun to drive. Or get the sporty all-new 2012 Volkswagen Beetle. It's back and better than ever. Come to #1 Bachman Volkswagen today to get your new Volkswagen before someone else does.
Bachman makes a difference.
Here we go. One step at a time, don't be living on the line. I don't need a friend, I got more than on the mind. Sunshine in my brain, making everyone complain. Radio in the heart, don't be being so strange. Think I'm losing it, baby, where?
Did you see Allison at lunch today? I'm gonna text her. I'm gonna text Allison. Hey, hold up, Matt's calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro? He needs help.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
How good can they really be? And how does Cal go about keeping players around for the next year? A couple of topics you're about to hear right now on our Game Time Storylines. Well, one of the topics we're talking about is how does Cal do it? First of all, he does the hard sell recruiting when he convinces all these high school All-Americans to come to Kentucky. But once they're here and they're making a decision about going to the pros, well, that's when Cal really does a soft sell.
I don't have a whole lot of talks. All the players that have played for me will tell you. I don't go in a room and try to brainwash them. I'll give them information. I talk to their parents. I may have one meeting with each player, and then I say, tell me what you're going to do or what you want to do, and walk.
He has an NBA owner and Jay-Z on speed dial, for crying out loud. He can get all the accurate information he needs, and he really doesn't have to do anything. And some of these guys, it's a no-brainer. The rest of them, they just have to decide, I'm low first round, is that good enough for me and my family, and that's the decision I'll make from there. And he doesn't have a need to, because he knows. We asked him, back in November, did you anticipate losing 6 players? He said, no, but you hope it works out that way for the players, so you better start recruiting a whole new team right now before the season starts, and they've been working on it the entire year, and he's already got the #1 recruiting class again for the 4th year in a row. To me, the testimony of the perfect marriage between Calipari's recruiting, his personality, and the fact he's at Kentucky. He's going to end up with the #1 class year after year, and those guys know when they get here, if you play well, it's your decision.
It sounded as though that Terrence Jones and Deron Lamb encouraged each other to stay. Yep. Do you have any sense, Darrell, of how that conversation went with this year's bunch of freshmen? So many of them left with the exception of Bilcher. What was the key factor in these guys going with some of the guys last year staying?
Every player I talked to, all the freshmen, I said, do you make a different decision if you had not won a national championship?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Every one of them said yes. Davis, I don't know. #1 pick, you're not going to improve that. But so many of them were that. And Jones, why did you come back? I wanted a national title. And that's why he's leaving this year. He's got it. I mean, what else, what can you improve upon?
Yeah.
You're national champions. Why do you come back?
The question would maybe be T. Maybe he's the wild card. Sorry, Howie, wild card worked in there. May end up making a mistake by heading on to the pros. Well, Louisville's football team was picked last in the Big East the last 2 seasons. They won't be picked there this coming year. 2012 has some real big hopes for Cardinal football.
2 years ago, we picked to finish last. Last season, we picked to finish last. For some reason, this season, they've picked us very high within our league. And we still have a long ways to go. We're nowhere near where we should be. And we have a lot of work to do.
Oh, we talk about it a lot because, like Coach Crone said, 2 years ago, no one would have picked Louisville to win the Big East. So those things like that just motivate this team. And we just remember what was said 2 years ago, and we try to go out and execute and be a better team.
I love how Charlie Strong says, for some reason they're picking us first. I'll tell you why, Coach. You got 18 starters coming back, including a couple of freshman All-Americans and Jake Smith and Teddy Bridgewater. And Bridgewater is just fantastic. I mean, Louisville's got a team coming back that could win the Big East, go to a BCS Bowl, win that BCS Bowl. And they should be the preseason favorite. The question is really now becoming, how do they handle all that? Can they handle that kind of pressure? Can they handle that? They've always been the underdog. They kind of motivate from that way. How do you handle it when you're not the underdog anymore?
Plus, the Big East is not nearly going to be this year what it was last year. You've already got some pretty good programs that have set sail for other conferences.
Right, and West Virginia leaving is a big hole there.
Yep.
I think the other thing is Louisville's got the most talent coming back in the league, and when you've got the most talent, if you can put that together, you should be winning.
Well, Kentucky certainly had the most talent in college basketball this past season, but as good as that talent was, especially when you look at Terrence Jones and Anthony Davis, Cal says those 2 guys are going to be even better in the pros.
Neither one has touched where they're going to be as NBA players. You're talking this guy is going to be able to guard 2s and 3s and 4s if he needs to. He's 6'9" and puts his head on the rim. This guy thinks he's a point guard. All right, he's going to be are you ready? A 4, maybe a 3 in that league. He's not Kevin Durant, and I'm not trying to compare him, but he's a long player who doesn't realize all the things he can do, and neither is Terrence. And I did have to push him to say, you're better than you think. And I think when they get to that next level, and that court is wide open and spaced, and you can't put hands on people, I think all of these kids are going to...
It's scary to think that Anthony Davis hasn't really tapped into his offensive potential at all. And that's crazy considering he's the National Player of the Year and he'll be the #1 pick. But he is just learning how to do some of those moves inside. That little baby hook with the right and left hand, we didn't see that till 2/3 of the way through the season. so much he can learn, so much better he can get on offense. And as Cal said, it's more of an open court, and nobody runs the court like Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
So his potential, even as a #1 pick, is just phenomenal.
It surprised me to hear Cal's assessment that at the next level, they'll actually be better because the court's bigger and they won't be as tightly guarded as they had in the college game.
Well, nobody plays defense in the NBA for one. To
Yeah.
me, that helps a whole lot when you're a player like that. And Terrence Jones has got that little three-pointer he likes to throw up. We'll see how that goes. And you're right, it's just the game is more designed to show off your individual skills than it is at the college level. Yeah. And that's what's going to happen. They'll be able to grow their skills and work on nothing but basketball nonstop. So it's going to be interesting to watch.
Charlie Strong has this phrase he throws out quite a bit. This team is nowhere close to what it needs to be. You heard it just a second ago. Now, Charlie is saying that about this team a little bit, but he's added a phrase this year that really made my ears perk up. He says that this has the chance to be a special team of Cardinals.
This could be a special group. That's all about work. And I said it the other day, a lot's going to be said about this team. A lot's going to be written about this team. Now, are we going to be mature enough to handle all the writing out there, the publication of what's going to be said? Last year we were picked last. We ended up in a three-way tie for first. This year we're going to be picked first or second or wherever. So now we're going to see if we can work as a team, and then can we go play each week and be a consistent team every week.
We've been through a lot of press conferences with Charlie Strong. He very rarely gives any kind of a compliment.
Yep.
Very rarely, especially to offense. I mean, he'll compliment his defense every now and then when they play really well, but he just doesn't dole out those compliments very often, frankly, because he's seen the best. He's seen Florida at their peak. He's seen a team just loaded with NFL prospects, and Louisville's certainly not there yet. So to hear him say that this could be a special season is really remarkable.
When we come back on the Red and Blue Review, we'll tell you what needs fixing among Kentucky players and Louisville coaches. As we head to the break, Howie's going to tell us about CardinalSports.com.
You got it. The best place to get all your football and basketball and recruiting coverage, CardinalSports.com. Be sure to log on there now. We've got all kinds of things, photo galleries, video, post-practice interviews, and, you know, a story right there about Charlie Strong saying that this could be a special season.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, check out Allstate Ford's pre-owned inventory at allstatetrucks.com. Large selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Also, a nice selection of Ford-certified pre-owned vehicles. Allstate Ford on the Watterson at Poplar Level Road.
Buying your next VW from Bachman Volkswagen will be a great experience. No games or gimmicks, competitive prices, and a huge inventory make #1 Bachman the place to get your Volkswagen. The all-new 2012 Jetta, an IHS top safety pick, is a great vehicle and fun to drive. Or get the sporty all-new 2012 Volkswagen Beetle. It's back and better than ever. Come to #1 Bachman Volkswagen today to get your new Volkswagen before someone else does.
Bachman makes a difference.
Here we go. One step at a time, don't be living on the line. I don't need a friend, I got more than on the mind. Sunshine in my brain, making everyone complain. Radio in the heart, don't be being so strange. Think I'm losing it, baby, where?
Did you see Allison at lunch today? I'm gonna text her. I'm gonna text Allison. Hey, hold up, Matt's calling me. Matt's calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro? You're the one who needs help.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
What needs fixing on the Red and Blue Review? Brought to you by Doug Jones Home Improvements.
A lot of folks say what needs fixing in college basketball is the one and done rule. Cal says it's not his rule. He's just figured out how to take advantage of it.
Now, I don't like the rules. I want Anthony to come back and be my point guard next year. I really do. It's what I want. But there's only 2 solutions to it. Either I can recruit players who are not as good as the players I'm recruiting, or I can try to convince guys that should leave to stay for me. Now, what's happened is North Carolina lost 3 underclassmen. Duke's losing them. It's not now. It's different, but that's okay. I mean, I'm going to do what's right for our kids, and at the end of the day, I don't apologize for anything.
Nobody has figured out how to use it better than Calipari, and it's just the price you're going to have to pay. But the misconception with some folks is they think, oh, Cal loves one and done. No, he doesn't. He lobbied hard when the NBA had the lockout. There was a possibility it was going to be a 2-year minimum. There was not a bigger supporter than John Calipari. You think he didn't want to keep that group 2 years? Sure. Are you kidding me? He was absolutely for a 2-year waiting period, but it is what it is, and he's going to work it as best he can and get the best players he possibly can, no matter how many years they're allowed to stay here until it changes.
This reminds me of the old rap saying, "Don't hate the player, hate the game."
Yeah.
I am a rap connoisseur, by the way, but no,
we knew that.
Yeah. Well, for me, I hate the rule, frankly, because there should be no restrictions on an adult if they want to join any kind of professional league.
Yep.
I mean, if they're 18, they should be able to go wherever they'd like and get a job. If they're 17, they can go wherever they need to go and get a job. I understand that the colleges want to, keep everything together, all that kind of thing, and if they recruit a player, they want him as part of their team, but there should not be any restrictions whatsoever.
Howie, about 20 seconds left in the show. What will be the impact of Louisville needing a new assistant coach now that Richard Pitino is heading to FIU?
The biggest thing is scouting. They're going to have to figure out the scouting because that's going to be very, very tough. He did 90% of it.
I do 9% of the work here. True. I don't really, but I take the credit. Thank you for watching us on the Red and Blue Review. See you next time as we track the Cats and Cards. The Red and Blue Review has been brought to you by PNC Bank, Kentucky Corner, Allstate Ford Truck Sales, and the Muhammad Ali Center.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card featuring Chariot Run, Bardstown Country Club at Maywood, Rosewood Country Club, Indian Springs, Cave Valley Golf Resort, the Falls Golf Resort, the Bull, and Stonecrest Golf Course is available now. Get your golf tour card and play 8 great courses with cart for one low price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. You can play anytime, but you must get your golf tour card now.